All right, my friends. Today we're going to talk about reconciling topography, real Revit topography, and your building, okay? Because I've seen a lot of architecture firms don't put in real topography under their building. I mean, that's okay, because maybe they just use a CAD underlay that they get from the civil guy, maybe. And more, I'll say, architecture firms would like to actually see where the topo truly hits the building, or they want to reconcile the sidewalks that are going around the building and possibly where they need swales, or maybe they need a site retaining wall. And they get themselves all tangled up with topography, and I'll show you how they get tangled up, and then I'll show you how to reconcile it, because you may have gotten tangled up, and I'll show you what is the common problem and how to fix it, okay? So let me just share my screen with you guys, and here we are, and get my face a little bit bigger over here. Okay, so here we are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to 3D in our building. So here we are. Yes, this site already has topo, right, underneath it. So what I'm going to do is delete it. I'm going to delete, bing, gone. Oh, it's gone. Now what do I do? Okay. So let's suppose that you, like typical, you did not get your topo first. You got it a month or two later, and that's normal. We've already worked out the floor plans. Here's the first floor. We've already worked out the floor plans. We've worked out the elevations. We've got this thing all together, and then somebody says, oh yeah, let's put the topography under the building. And you're like, and you really want to just go to, let's say, the site plan, which is here, and you feel like just drawing it with lines, right? But you know that you're going to run into issues. If you just do it with lines, there's going to be problems. So you may as well do it unless your site, if your site has topography on it, you should go ahead with real Revit topography. But if you are on a flat site, just use lines. I'm serious. Don't even worry about it. And you heard that from me. I'm serious. I love Revit and the power of the true 3D. But if you've got a flat site, you don't need real topo. You can fake it in with like a filled region on the elevations. You can just kind of fake it in. Anyway, but for those of you who need topo, let's talk right now. You and me, okay? This is us. Just focus, and here we go. Let's just say somebody says, hey, we are on this site and we've got a hill over here and another hill over here, and we're going to build on this little bit of a flat area in between. That's today's scenario, okay? So what I'm going to do is go to massing and site, and let's say that you got an underlay that's CAD that has some topo lines on it, and you want to build that topo. This works for that. You would bring it in as a CAD underlay right now, and then you would click on this button up here on Massing and Site tab. The button is Topo Surface, okay? And you would hit Place a Point, and then you would you look on their little underlay, the CAD underlay, and if it says this line right here is a 50, well, then you set this number up here to 50. And then they say, oh, there's a little bit of a hill over here. So there. So there's a little bit of a hill. Okay, got it. And they say, oh, yeah, there is, let's go pick point, and we're going to change it to 45. We say, okay, it's 45 here, and the 45 kind of runs along like that, okay? So there's the hill, and it's 45 along there. And I just hit 45 in the back just because whatever. I could have hit actual topo over there. But then they say, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, 45 laps around the building, kind of like this. You're like, okay, where'd my building go? But then you're going to say, but it goes back up to 50 on a little hill over here. Okay, there's a nice little hill. I'm just clicking some points. There's a cute little hill over there. That's nice. And then, and I'll just clean this up by putting a 45 past it. So we've got a little flattish area in the middle. And then we've got, hey, let me just, I'm going to delete that dot. So 45 is looking like that. Maybe I like that, maybe I don't. It's I'm gonna put those over there like that. Okay, so here we go. We've got these dots here. What it's doing is it's pulling over to those other 45s, and it's not using these dots. So that's for another lesson. I'm gonna get rid of these guys out here in the middle. So here's our flat area, and we know it's 45 goes right along there, and 45 goes along right over here. And 50 is the top of this hill, okay? And the top of this hill, which is great. So when I have, let's just say I was following someone else's contours that was in an underlay. Now I can get rid of the underlay and just check my little box. I'm like, yay! But where is my building? Like, well, let's check for a sec. I'm gonna label the contours. I'm gonna put the labels right here. You just draw a line. And I don't like them as foot and inches, so I'm going to highlight it. And over in the properties of the contour labels, I'm going to go to the units, and I'm going to change the units to be US survey feet, okay? And you can use decimal feet if you're using an older version of Revit. And I say, okay, there we go, 50 down to 45. Love it. And so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to create another one over here. Okay. 50 down to 45. All right, but my building's gone. And if I do a little check by a bounding box, did you guys see that? My building is underneath. I'm like, what? So I'm gonna go to 3D. I'm like, okay, wait a sec. Why is my building underneath? And also, why can't I see, oh, section box is on, sorry. There's my topo. Oh no. My topo is down, I mean, way the heck over my building, and that doesn't work. And so this is what happens. A lot of times you guys are building topo, and then you look and you're like, it's in the wrong place. And that's your first mistake when you start saying that. It is in the wrong place, the topo. The truth is, the topo is in the right place and your building's wrong. But you all of a sudden, everybody wants to blame somebody else. And so we're going to blame the site. Bogus site. Let's go to our south elevation. Bogus. Look at the site. It's way up there. It needs to be, and here's what people say. Oh, that site needs to be down here, down to our building, because we've got the first floor set at 0, and our second floor is set at 10 feet, and our roof bearing's at 20. This site is wrong, blah, blah, blah. We need to bring the site down. And they go, oh, yeah, the site's wrong. So typically people click on the site and they say, we need to move the site. So they'll move it down. And they're moving it down. They move it down here. And they're like, dang it, I moved it too far. How about I just click it up a little bit? And I'm going to click it. That deleted my contour inner, the thing on the site plan. It deleted my, anyway, let me just work with me here. It deleted my little lines that were indicating what the contours were. So I'm moving it up. Okay, so it's down there a little bit below the floor plan. So in my site plan, there it is. Yay, we've got the building and we've got and somebody says, oh, your site needs to be 2 feet below the floor plate. I'm like, okay, let me go back to my section. All right, so this needs to be 2 feet. And so I'm gonna just move it up. That's pretty close. Maybe I'll zoom in and tighten it up a little. There we go. And then I'll click on it and I'll move it down 2 feet. Okay, this is normal. People do this all the time. Okay, and it's wrong because let's go to the site plan. What we've done is we've moved it around. We've moved it on our, and left the building where it, and so here, let me just cut through here. I'm like, oh dear, this is not good. So there's our site. And let me go back to the site plan. So here we are. Let me just look at my, let's put on these labels again. And so when we put the labels back on, like, oh no, it's 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh man. And so they start. This is where, and then problem number 2 happens. They're like, well, let's force these numbers to say what we want. So that's where problem number 2 comes in. Assumption number 2 is, now that the site's right, those things are wrong. Remember, like I said a minute ago, everybody wants to blame somebody. Those contour labels are wrong. So they start going, okay, we're going to go back to the south elevation, and let's, the reason I'm not cutting through the site here on my, let me just show you. The south is right here. I just need to probably bring this closer up here so that it cuts through, so that it looks like that. There we go. So that's cutting through. Okay. So it looks nicer that way. Anyway, so now let's go back. Where were we? Okay. These are the problem. First, the site was the problem, and now it's the contour labels that are the problem. So what do people do? I know it. The contour labels, let me just click one and show you in their properties. They are looking at the project base point, and I say I switch it to the survey point, so I can switch it so that they look at a different number. Cool, huh? So, or a different point. So I'm gonna say, okay. And now what I need to do is move the survey point so that those are accurate. And we're still wrong. Don't start doing this on your projects. I'm still wrong. So I'm gonna go back to the south elevation. And what I need to do is turn on the survey point. So I'm going to go VG, and under site, there is a survey point. So I'm going to turn it on, and it turns on right there. Okay. So I'm going to click it, and I'm going to move it down here. And I need to move it. Well, I should probably move it. I need to move it 45 feet, right? Because I need to move that thing 45 feet. So it's move down 45 feet. But that is 45 feet down, and that will take me to the floor plate. So the actual site is 2 feet lower. Okay, MV move down 2 feet. So what I've done is I've moved the object that those the contour labels are looking at. So when I go to my site plan, I'm like, hey, that's cool. 50, 49, 48, 47, this is good. And it's like, okay, 47's over here. It's like, wait, this is kind of whacked. It's not actually doing all that I wanted it to do. So you start getting yourself into trouble when you are doing this here. Because here's the problem. When I click on this guy, actually I've moved, wow, it's crazy, isn't it? If I hit edit surface and I want to edit this, the 45 is over here. You see that, friends? And so, and the 50's at the top. And if I click here, this does not tell me, can you see that? It says -1 and almost -2 inches. This is bad. This is messed up because I can't just change the contours easily because I've got some whack number there. And so I've gotten myself into a pickle here. I've taken the time to move this. I'm like, oh no. And what am I going to do now? So what I need to do is get this site back where it belongs and then move my building to it. So when you get yourself all in a pickle and you're all messed up and you're just moving things to make other things work, stop. Just stop what you're doing for a minute. And here's what we need, okay? What I'm going to do is pick the site. I'm going to say edit surface, okay? And if I know these ones up here at the top are supposed to be 50s, okay? I click it, and it says it's 3 foot and 1/256. I'm like, okay. So I need to bring it down the 256 to get it to a whole number. Watch this. I'm going to move the whole site down 256 inches. Okay. And now I could go to 3D and do this in 3D. Take a look. Here we are in 3D. If I pick the site and I say edit surface, these up here at the top are supposed to be 50s. We know that, right? So I click on one and it says it's at 3 feet. So I need to go up 47 feet to get these where they belong. Okay, you with me? So I'm going to, and I'm just gonna, I can do it here in 3D. 47 feet, I'm gonna pick that site. I'm gonna move it up 47 feet. It goes up to exactly where it's supposed to be, people. And so now when you're in 3D, yeah, I've gotten it back where it belongs. I can pick it, I can say edit surface, and I can pick right here, and that says 50, yes. And I pick this one and it says 45, yes. Okay, that's how we want this to work, okay? In fact, I'm gonna go ahead to, and now these, I'm gonna tell these things to not look at the survey point any longer. I'm just gonna put them back to the project base point, okay? So that they're accurate. I know, I said that word wrong on purpose. These are accurate now. And I lost my 45, so I'm going to hit edit surface, and I'm going to place some 45s out here. I want that line back, actually. There we go. Let's just say the site, 45. This is where our building pad is, going on that, okay? All right. So if I were to pull this over, bing, 45, 46, 47, you can pull this longer and it'll catch. See if you pull it short or long. Okay, so, and our building is still in the right place, okay? So here we go. Don't worry about it. We need the building to be up on the site. In fact, we need it to be 2 feet above the site. So here, best practice. So we're basically back to where we started. And this is where you should leave it. This is where you shouldn't assume the site's wrong. Assume your building's wrong. Go to your elevation. And we know the building's in there. Look, oh no, it's in there. It's underground. It's like buried. This is Pompeii here. Okay. We need to move the building up 47 feet because that's 45 and we need it to be, the floor plate needs to be 2 feet above it. You with me? The site's in the right place, the building's not. And here's how you move it. You just pick one of your levels. Right click. I mean, I'm telling you, there's probably other ways to do this, but this is the surefire best practice. Right click and say, select all instances in my entire project. This is grabbing all your levels, okay? And then I say move. In V on the keyboard, and I'm just going to move it up. And did I say 47 feet, right? Take a look. 47 feet happens. Every object, you don't grab the objects and move them, you move the level, and everything goes, okay? And then I can move my view if I want to. I can move the view up 47 feet, okay? And to get it where it needs to be. And I can also move this other section. So the only complication that I found doing this is that you need to move your sections and your elevation. This box that goes around your elevations needs to be moved, the 47 feet. Or you can drag it to the new extents. But if you wanted to, if you've already put annotation on your elevations and you put annotation on all your sections, all you have to do is move them up. And sometimes you might have to go to that section view and grab some miscellaneous annotation and move it up to 47 feet too. Kind of like filled regions and lines that you've drawn. Just grab them and move them 47 feet. Everything will clean up. Now, this is reconciled. It is almost reconciled. Take a look. The first floor is now at 47 feet. But that's so easy, friends. What we need to do is not worry about that. It's the project base point that we need to worry about, not the survey point. So we all know the survey point's down here, and we don't need it. I'm going to turn on VG. I'm going to go to my site objects, and I'm just turning off that silly survey point. Don't need it unless for some reason you have a geographical survey point somewhere on your site and you need to nail exactly where that is. But just leave it off. What you want to turn on is your project base point. And the project base point's sitting right here. And that little guy, I'm just going to drag it up and put it right on my first floor so that it makes these things, if you go to their type properties, they are talking to the project base point to get their elevation. So this is 0 off of the first floor, and this is 10 foot and 20. Everything is reconciled back. We're supposed to now, okay? So let me get this in view right there. That's that. Now we're talking. Now we're happy. Because you can see that in the site plan, these are accurate. The site is accurate. The building's in the right place. And if I need to modify the site in any way, I can click on it and I can say edit surface, and these dots, that one should be 45. Yes. This one should be 50. Yes. I can start pulling and pushing and moving these site contours around now and adding new ones to modify the site without having to guess at what the numbers are. Okay. So I know that took a little bit of time to show you how to reconcile the site to the building, but I wanted to show you where most people go wrong. They move the site to the building, and that's not the way to do it. Grab all of the levels by selecting all and move them up the correct level. And I even showed you how to get your site back to where it belongs. All right. Well, that's about enough of that right now. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And if you're working with true contours and true topo surfaces, bring your building to the site. The site is accurate. It knows what it's talking about. Okay? I think that's all that we need to cover right now. If you guys have any questions or problems, just put them in the description box below. You know, make a comment, not the description box. Put them in the comments below, and I'll try to address them as we go. All right? All right. You guys have a fantastic day, and until we meet again, happy Reviting.